Hey YouTube, coming at you with the Retro Cup team. So I started Primeape, Dewgong, clodsire, and basically the thought process was if I have Primeape on the lead, I feel like it's a pretty good 2 shield candidate where I can just determine whether I want to like just take switch advantage or take shield advantage or whatever. And then I'll have Dewgong and clodsire in the back to cover each other's weakness. So if I see a fighter, I can come clodsire. If I see like um, whatever, like a water, I'll come Dewgong, something like that, right? So that was the plan. And it worked okay for a bit, but then it was just like sometimes I would like take switch but down a shield, and then you get something like neutral like ORANGURU that could do confusions to clodsire, and then the grass like trailblaze to dewgong. So I was like, okay, plus your double weak to psychic. So then I'm like, okay, let's just go ABB style, weak to fighting, ferret and dewgong in the back there. So let's take a look at it. Dunsparce lead, good lead. They get out into crest, so I quickly switch into dewgong. Which again, this is not a great matchup. I could have maybe stayed in with Primeape and just chipped with Rage Fist first to ensure that they were gonna be like put it within like, at least like 1 or 2 draw run / icy wins. Because now it's like even if I land a draw run here, I don't think I'm gonna take this out. So we're in a pretty bad situation here. Down a shield already. I'm going to lower their attack for a second time, hoping that 2 times lowered, maybe it does not take me out from this range. So we will find out right here. 2 times lowered, non-stab, grass knot, does not take out, and allows me to get to a move. So that's pretty big. So I'll either grab the shield back and still lose switch, or take switch. And they decide to shield. That's okay. They are now 3 times lowered. So I'm not worried about any move here. Clodsire will come in and just whatever. The grass knot, and like I said, does almost nothing. And they give up switch into Talonflame, which seems crazy knowing that I had a Primeape on the front. So they gave up switch, and I do have Stone Edge. So I can, I'm so far ahead on energy now that I'm going to get to the move, and they go Brave Bird. So I'll get the Stone Edge off to take this out, and then I'll probably instance up to Primeape here. Yep. Because they have what? The Dunsparce and like a little bit of crest left. So trying to instant swap, and they come in crest just to get taken out. And they know that was a mistake. Jump Bluffs. Jump Bluff's a brutal lead. I do have 2 answers in the back. Let's see where I go. I go clodsire because I assume that double weak to ice, they probably have an ice weakness, like an ice answer. So I'm going to come in here. They probably have like a not jump off, a Dunsparce or something. Licky, right? So we just see Licky. It could be a double rollout user. I would not be surprised. Again, this is just kind of the team reading you need to do. Jump left lead, flyer, double weak to ice with your flying and grass. You have a Licky as a rollout user here. Most people would probably use Dunsparce. So if you see Licky, you know, there's probably Dunsparce in the back here. Not 100%, like I may be wrong, but these are the type of things. Try and draw out a fighter or something weak to fighting. If it's not a Dunsparce, it is something just weak to fighting in the back here, is my guess. Again, we'll find out in like a minute here. So they land a second Earthquake. I do get an Earthquake off here, which may grab a shield if they want to keep switch, and that is exactly what happens. They do double shield to keep switch. So I'll come Primeape, and at this point, I'm like, okay, gotta let this go. I assume it'll be like a Dunsparce or something in the back, which I will need a shield advantage for. So now I'm going to bank that energy in case I need to like snipe Ferret. Okay, so it is double wrong, sort of wrong, but I was right with the double weak to fighting, double normal team. Ferret. Try and draw out a fighter with Licky or Ferret. Have your Jump Bluff take care of that fighter, and then the other one roams free in the back. This thing is pretty spammy with the Brick Break, but shields down. I should be okay. I do farm up a little bit because I want to try and get to an Icy Wind, because that will basically one-shot the Jump Bluff here. And if I get it off, this game's over. If I don't, it probably would have been pretty tough, but I do get it off here, so this will take out, and oh, it does not take out, and I come in snipe, but they are top left once I land that. Surprised a double super effective ice shard, Icy Wind does not take out. Okay, So Altaria lead, terrible lead, so I come in Clodsire, I get the Stone Edge off. This will do chip damage. And they let it go, and then come Froslass. So this team right now is double weak to Rock. But this Avalanche is going to hurt. I bet you I can live it, but I'll probably be in the deep red if I do. Ooh, triple Axle. So, I mean, their attack is now boosted, and I don't have an amazing answer to this. I got Dewgong, which is going to be doing neutral drill runs versus Shadow Balls, or I got to come in Primeape. So I think at this point I was just like, okay, I chipped the Altaria enough that I can probably just take it out with Primeape. So what I think I'm going to do is try and just go double Primeape. And I think I remember exactly what happens, and I'm smirking because I'm making the mistake that I give warning to subscribers constantly. Yes, Primeape and these glass cannons have an advantage in it when your shield's up. The problem is these things are so glassy that you run the risk of just being fast moved down. So I have a 2v1 shield advantage, and I just boosted my attack. But out comes the Altaria, where the Karate Chops are resisted, and these Dragon Breaths are adding up real fast. And they're shielding, and I was just saying they're not even throwing. They do throw, but I'm already in the yellow. So I bet you I'm down to the red before I get this move off, and that's exactly what happens. I'm down to the red. I do get it off. This is 2 times boosted already, so this will take out. But 3 times boosted, I could one-shot this with ease, but Ice Shard's enough to take me out, needing to shield earlier. So Goodra, because this thing is so quick to the close combat, and by the time they get switched in here, I'm only like 3 away. So I do bait, and I'm like, okay, crap. So I baited it. I'm like, oh, well, I've got Clodsire still on this team at this point, so I can definitely just deal with it. Like commit the double shield here, and then maybe take this out. But these Dragon Breaths are adding up real fast, and I think that if they shield this, they'll take switch. They CMP there, so that's okay. That's actually nice. Dumping their energy. I got shield advantage. Lost switch though, but they have no shields left. So I'm just gonna come in Dewgong, get ahead on energy, so that way if the Dunsparce comes back in, which I assume it will, I am going to chip because it's going to take at least 2 Earthquakes, but maybe I can put it within like Poison Sting, 1 Earthquake, and Drill Run range. And they come in Dragonite. I'm sorry, Dragonite. I am running Stone Edge, so this is going to be a super effective one-shot here. And then I'll have a shield advantage and basically a 3/4 health Dewgong and Clodsire to take this out. I can live a Drill Run here. I can't live another one though, so if they get another one off, I wouldn't be surprised if I do shield here to try and get a move off myself. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. So I will get to this Earthquake. Probably not enough to take out, but at this point it is, I think, in fast move damage range. So I'm going to come in here knowing that I can survive one Rock Slide, because Rock Slide is nerf. Dunsparce is more defensive heavy, and it does not get the same type of attack bonus. So even though it's super effective, it is not doing a ton on Dewgong. Ferret is a good lead, and out comes Crest. So this one I think I chip before getting into one of them. Again, I don't have an amazing answer. I'll maybe get into Clodsire this time. Yeah, thinking that like maybe if it's Moonblast, they can only throw Grass Knots and I should be okay. Yeah, so there comes a Grass Knot. So I'm in a good situation. These Psycho Cuts are doing super effective, but those are mostly just fast charging fast moves as opposed to any real damage. This thing does chip pretty fast. I go Earthquake here. I know Earthquake won't take out, and it's going to put it low, but I'm still probably going to have to throw a move. I think double Stone Edge is probably the play there. Like you can easily see it's not going to be an Earthquake, but Stone Edge is a pretty hard-hitting move. At this point, I think they're going to commit to the farm down, so I'm just only going to get to one move, I think. So let's just go Earthquake here. Harder hitting stab move. And it does land, and I give up switch because I don't want them to like come out with like a ton of energy. And they throw the Brick Break. At this point, I gotta commit to the farm down, but they're not getting out, so I'm like, okay, I'll take some energy into this next matchup. And that next matchup is a Primeape itself. So baiting here because Primeape is very glassy. They have 2 shields. They're gonna start using these. I I'm now just going for a close combat, which honestly, they're going to shield again. So I don't know why I'm going close combat. I probably should have just thrown the other one right away to boost my attack and do a little more damage. And now, unfortunately, they probably already have 5 Karate Chops, which means they are at back-to-back moves here pretty much. So I'm going to shield, respecting that they could probably just go back-to-back. And now I tried to catch here, but unfortunately they held back, farmed a little bit more, so they're going to have still back-to-back moves. And this is the kind of strength of Primeape, right? Just the ability to spam like crazy. And now it's a boosted Rage Fist close combat here, so goodbye Dewgong. Talonflame, terrible lead. This is when Fred is in. I kind of use both as safe swaps. So you're seeing Dig on this first one here. I do switch it to Hyper Beam to be able to... Ooh, brutal fast move timing. I do switch it to Hyper Beam to be able to throw at something like Flyers. Fred kind of plays the same role. I don't like it. You know, it's just a way worse Dunsparce, quite honestly. So I'd probably just use Dunsparce. I'm just using it because of all the Psychic type Pokemon, and Sucker Punch is super effective. But a non-stab Sucker Punch, a non-stab Brick Break, a non-stab Dig, a stab but super high energy, Hyper Beam, okay bulk but not amazing. I do have 2 moves loaded here, so I'm going to lower the defense of the Talonflame a couple times. And again, it's easy to just time a 2 versus 5 move, because I just go 2 and then throw the move. So here comes another Brick Break. They do get a shield. And I'm going to get another one off on the sort of 8th versus 10 here. 4th Sucker Punch. And so even though it was all resisted, it got them down. I mean, Sucker Punch wasn't resisted, but the Brick Breaks were. Got it down to the red. Now Dunsparce on Primeape. You can live 1 move Primeape here, so just get to almost 2 close combats here. 1 to take this out, and then the Rage Fist to take out the Talonflame. So goodbye Dunsparce, hello Talonflame, goodbye Talonflame. Primeape can be interesting. So for those of you, I'm gonna go a little off topic here because this is gonna be a Sunday video. Good lead. Yeah, Trevenant, so we're gonna get Ferret here. But it is a fast, it's not a Shadow Claw, it's a fast dark move. This is an old strategy too. Try and pull out like a normal typing and then sneak attack it with a dark fast move. Old school typing, old school idea. So 2 things. I hope you guys get it. We're done with the battles. Let's just have to talk, because I feel like we haven't had a talk in a while. Okay, so 3 things that are on my mind. 1, I feel like this is one of the this weekend's event that you guys are playing right now that I am not playing, because daughter had dance this morning. My brother-in-law's birthday's this afternoon, like 40th birthday is. They're coming over this afternoon to do that. Tomorrow morning, my daughter has swimming. Tomorrow afternoon, my son has... No. Tomorrow morning, my son has swimming. Tomorrow afternoon, my daughter has swimming. Put on that, needing to film some videos and just do stuff around the house and groceries. This event is not happening for me. You know, seeing the opening up the game and seeing the confetti and getting the... Like, it does feel like... It feels like they made this basically like a... Kind of like a November Go Fest-ish type thing. So I feel like I'm missing a bit of Gigantamax and stuff like that. This is when, if I had no kids, I probably would. If I had no kids and no real responsibility, I probably would be down with like Poke Daxi and Trainer Club, like grinding it out for at least today. I think that would be fun. But yeah, so I definitely did not play much of this event. Here. Number 2, this channel is at like just under 200 away from 25,000 subscribers, which is great. It was my I had 4 goals on Twitter at the beginning of the year. I'll make a joke about it. I always at the end of the year, I never hit all of them, so I'll make a joke about a couple of them. One was to make less videos, and well, that didn't happen. I made way more than I wanted to, but got into a routine here, and yeah. But for the subscribers, I want to be between 25 and 30,000. 25 on the lower end, 30 on the higher end. And when I always make these ranges, I'm usually for the last 2 years in the middle. So I think it was like 16 to 20 last year, and I got like 18 or something like that. And the year before, same thing. Like, and I was always in the middle end. And this one, I'm like, I'm not even at the bottom end yet, and it's December in a week. And I think there's a couple things that I think caused me to not hit the bottom end. It's not because of the lack of videos. I've put out way more videos this year, so I can't even be like, oh, I didn't maybe do as much work. No, I've definitely put in the work. However, I think like going into like the 20th season of JBL, whatever we're at, like the market's just not there. I think that I lacked. I always usually get a Poke Daxi subscriber bump because we usually collab 2+ times a year, but we haven't collabed at all this year. And I think it's a mixture of just like his schedule and my schedule just not aligning, and maybe he just doesn't have any like other ideas. Like I've been tracking his channel and stuff like that, and like his subscriber, like I should actually say this, subscriber growth across all Pokemon Go channels has become stagnant. Like he ran to like 575,000, and then he's probably getting close to like 590 or something. But it's really like plateaued his growth. So it's just across the board. It's just the game's not getting the growth that we'd want. So between that and like he did like 3 or 4 in-person Go Fest, he moved. He then took a trip to like New Zealand for like weeks. So his schedule's crazy. My work is getting absolutely crazy. That I don't have any free time, stuff like that. So it's been a little tricky from that perspective to collab. So I didn't get the bump there. I guess there's 2 more things then. The third thing is, I had said multiple times I'm probably not going to go to the Toronto Regional. I just checked the fee. Someone did post this in the comments a while ago saying like the fees are like 50% of what they were last year. And last year was like $120 Canadian to do it, which is like insane. But yeah, this year it actually may be less than 50% of that. So if it is, I'll check one more time. I think I will go to do that. And then I asked for Christmas I showed my new camera that I have, but to like transfer, like to like shoot videos, I could transfer it just with like some sort of like stick, but I asked for like a card capture to maybe have other options there. So I'm looking forward to the new year of potentially doing like a new channel. Like I talked about an economist channel. I talked about a YouTube analytics channel. So we'll see. Maybe just branch out, because I think I'll keep putting out videos here, obviously a ton, because this is very, very consistent, but I think the game is plateauing and I don't see the growth in the future. But anyways, I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.